from Indonesia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Yes, in Indonesia, access to authentic Islamic knowledge is challenging, not due to lack of majlis, but because it can be difficult for the general Muslim population to determine which da'i or ustad are truly credible and trustworthy. Alhamdulillah, I joined the Z Academy program and I follow you, so I've heard these kinds of questions frequently. And I started getting more selective in the matter of which person I should listen their Islamic advice. So my issue is when my father asks me to accompany him to a majlis where the da'i is not 100% trustworthy, but he's somewhere in between 50% and 100%. Everyone there can tell he knows some Arabics, and they know he's not a person that tries to mislead people. This is where I'm uncertain whether to go with my father or to reject him. Ultimately, my question is, how can I advise my parents on this matter of seeking authentic ilm? I'm sorry if this question doesn't fit this short format, Jazakallah khairan.
Wa jazakum. First of all, Aska, it is not possible to have people clones of each other. Even if the ustad, you go to his majlis, graduated from Medina or from Jami'at al-Imam in Riyadh or from al-Qura, he follows the right aqeedah, he follows the right shuyukh, and he follows Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Still, there has to be differences. Yani, let's go back in time where the Prophet ﷺ and his companions were together. Even at that time, companions may have differed in opinion. The Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, none of you should pray Asr except in Bani Qurayza. They all marched to Bani Qurayza, and in the middle of the way, the sun is about to set. Half of them prayed, the other half said, the Prophet said, don't pray Asr except in the Bani Qurayza. When they reached, one of them was right. They can't both be right. And the Prophet ﷺ, because he saw that there was a room for this agreement, there was a room for having your own opinion, he did not elaborate. He did not say you're correct and you're wrong or the opposite. He did not comment at all. Meaning, I could go to a majlis and imagine in this majlis, Sheikh so-and-so speaks, Sheikh so-and-so speaks, Dr. so-and-so speaks. Do you think I agree with everything they've said? Definitely 100% not. No. Why don't I comment? Because there is room to differ in opinion. If some of them said something that is shirk or kufr or innovation, I would intervene. Politely, diplomatically, maybe when it's my turn to talk, maybe I'll just beat around the bush, but I'll throw it so that I would not cause more fitna. But if one uses something or says something about raf' al-yadayn in salah, which I say this is the sunnah, or the majority of Muslims say it's sunnah, and he says it's not, okay, that's fine. People are not children. Oh, don't listen to him. They have their own heads and they can think. If the issue itself is an issue of dispute between schools of thought, between imams of the Salaf, why would I feel forced to force people to listen and follow only me because I'm doing Z Academy, because I'm following so-and-so? No. As long as there is room, go ahead and learn whatever you can. Maybe you'll find something that's beneficial. As long as the ustad is not known for shirk, for innovation, maybe he has moderate opinions, but he's not an innovator. He's not doing anything going against the aqeedah. His aqeedah is fine. I see no problem in that.